In this session, we're going to be discussing or comparing ISBLANK with ISNULL and which one we should be using. So Salesforce recommends that we keep using ISBLANK function. The reason is ISNULL function does not validate empty text fields, but ISBLANK function does validate text field. In other words, if the field value is empty, if the field is empty, it doesn't have any value in it, right? And if you try to verify that with ISNULL function, it will not work for the text fields. But ISBLANK function will work regardless if it's text field or not. So the conclusion is use ISBLANK instead of ISNULL. ISBLANK has the same functionality as ISNULL, but also supports text fields. Let's see what this exactly is saying. I'm going to go to the account, and then let's go to fields and relationship and check the data type of fields. For example, this account site field is a text field. So that rule was saying ISNULL will not work for a field that has a data type of text. Now, we also have a validation rule for this field, right? So you can click on this field and then scroll down. You see all the validation rules where this field was used. Let's go ahead and edit this validation rule. And instead of using ISBLANK, I'm going to use ISNULL. And the ISNULL function is also over here. We can bring it. If you check their description, both the description will say the same thing, okay? So now instead of using ISBLANK, we're going to use ISNULL. Let's comment this out. Okay, so this is commented out now. Or let's just get rid of this completely so that we can read it easily. All right. Check the syntax. It's not complaining yet. And then I'm going to save this. All right. So I'm saying if this field is empty, then throw me an error message. Let me navigate back to account record, and then here, currently this account site has a value, and I'm going to delete it. And then we'll try to save this record. So I was able to save the record. So what happened here, the ISNULL function was not able to verify. My field was empty. It did not have a value. I was expecting this validation rule to throw an error, but it didn't do that. But if I change it back to ISBLANK, just like it was before, ISBLANK, then it will throw me an error message. We have already seen that. Let's go back and verify that. So I'm editing this. This field is blank. And then clicking save. And now you see the ISBLANK function is correctly doing the validation. But ISNULL is not doing it. ISNULL is not doing it because the text field, the data type of this field is text. All right, so it's very good to know just for this type of scenarios, just keep using ISBLANK function. Now let's say we have this annual revenue field. Okay, annual revenue field. What's the data type of annual revenue? Let me check that. Annual revenue. Where is it? So this is currency. Now I'm going to test this ISNULL function on the currency field. Okay, the data type of this field is currency. So let me go to this field and build a validation rule. So I'm going to say that annual revenue is required. And then I'll try to use the ISNULL function. Enter the value API name, the field API name, account annual revenue. Enter. Check your syntax. Everything is good. I will say enter value for annual revenue. And we want to display it here. By default, it got selected because we started building this validation from that field. While we were on that field, we clicked on that new validation rule button. Click save. All right, the validation name can only contain alphanumeric, must begin with letter. So let's remove this dot at the end. That was causing the issue. It's active. Now I'm going to open an account record. Let's cancel out from there and annual revenue. So annual revenue is now empty, right? And then I'll try to click save. So this one now gets triggered from that validation rule that we just built using this ISNULL function. Okay, but this one is causing from the previous validation rule that uses ISBLANK. Let me enter a value here. Account site is say location, some value, and now still don't have value for this. We are getting that validation or error message, so you have to enter a value here and then be able to save. So what is our conclusion? Again, our conclusion is this. ISNULL function does not work if the data type of the field is text. That's why we use ISBLANK function if the field data type is text. But ISNULL does work if the field data type is not text. Okay, we tried it on the currency field, it worked fine. It works fine. It would work the same in this scenario for this annual revenue currency field. ISBLANK function and ISNULL function would work the same way. They both would do the job. But to be on the safe side, just always go with ISBLANK because ISBLANK works for text field and also for other data types. So to respect the best practice, what I will do is I'll go back and instead of using this ISNULL, we will use ISBLANK, right? Check syntax. Everything's good. Save. Come back to the record. So I'm going to try to erase this mount and try to save again. So ISBLANK is working. Just like the ISNULL did for this field data type.